Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening. Welcome. Tonight, actually, we're going to work more on the procedural dungeon generation. And I did some progress, but not really final. So the progress that I made is that if the starting piece has no rotation and the end piece, I mean the connecting piece, is having any rotation, any position, it works. So now we are connecting one with one, so we should connect basically that face to this thing. So if I launch it like this and I press 1, you see actually it works, right? And I mean there is an entrance here I cannot catch, but okay. You see, so the connection is perfect. The problem is if the first object is rotated. And unfortunately, we really need this to be rotated, because when we connect room number 2 to room number 3, room number 2 will be rotated for sure. So we need the first piece to be rotated, because from that point on they will all be rotated. So unfortunately I need to fix it. I didn't think too much about it yet, but so what I know is that if the origin is rotated, I am actually catching the angle properly. By the way, I think it would be a good idea if my starting location is actually here, so I don't have to move every time. Something like that. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So if I do it now, you see, and the piece number 1 is rotated, the rotation is correct, but the translation is not correct, right? The translation is not correct. I need to understand why. And I think the why is that this connection point, which is connection point number 1, this connection point number 1 actually moves due to the rotation, right? He actually moves in space due to the rotation. And he moves compared to what? He moves compared to the... Yeah, it moves compared to the original non-rotated, because when I rotate this. Well, actually no. I rotate, sorry, this. Right? And so that point is actually moving. Hello, the cool charm, hi. Hello, Tutorial. Hello, hello. Yeah, you are Kifu, yeah, I remember. I remember your 20 different nicknames, yeah. I remember. So the question is how do we recover from that? So how do we recover from the fact that the rotation is right, but the position is wrong? Should we do a delta between the actual current connection point number 1 and the original one, and or should we just take this point? Should we just take this point in 3D space and because at the moment I'm always using the relative location, right, to understand should I just use the real location? Because I can actually get the world location of this guy, right? And in the same way, I can get the world location of this guy. And I can... the problem of this... I mean, I can try, but... because now here we will be using world location. No, this is impossible, no. Because this will now add the wall, so I mean I can do it only if I then remove the world location again before adding it to the I don't know, it seems kind of a weird idea actually. Nah, I think it's... I mean the rotation is right, But the position is completely off. The rotation is right. The rotation actually works, so I should not change the rotation. The problem is how to take into account, because now it's not wrong by much, right? It seems that it's ending pretty much always in the same location, which is a bit weird. Nah. So the word location is messing up. No. It's a bit tough to think about it. It's slowly going up. Why slowly going up? Because is there a spacing allocation of some sort that has too much allocated? What? What is a spacing allocation? What we are trying to do, we are basically trying to match the two doors so that they face each other with a proper rotation and translation. No matter the rotation of the two original pieces or their position. So this is what we are trying to do, right? And we actually managed to do it if the first piece is not rotated. But if the first piece is rotated, it doesn't work. And I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand why. The reason is obviously that there is a delta between this location and this location. Also in terms of distance, because the rotation we figured it out, but the distance, should I rotate the vector? Should I rotate the vector of the same rotation of the, because yeah, I could, I could so if I rotate in short, it's complicated, yeah. I said it wasn't working when I rotated, yeah. It doesn't work. I mean, if the second piece is rotated, it works. But if the first piece is, so I can show you, right? If this guy is not rotated, I mean, now I disconnected a bunch of stuff, but I think it should be okay. If the first piece is not rotated, right? That works seamlessly. Well, at the moment, I don't know why we have a vertical fuck up. Yeah, we have a vertical fuck up because ay. Wait a second. Now I broke the logic. No, okay, that's good. So if you see, like now it works perfectly, right? The two houses, the two pieces are matching, and it is the case where my first piece is here, and he can have whatever location he wants. The location is not a problem, and my second piece can have any location and any rotation, right? And it works, right? My only problem at the moment is when and it works, right? My only problem at the moment is when the first piece also has a rotation. When this piece is rotated, we get the rotation right, but we don't get the position right. So you see that the rotation is correct, so the two are perpendicular to each other or whatever, parallel to each other, right? But the obviously the door is like fucked up, so it's not matching, right? The problem is that the first piece, I mean, after the second piece, we will have a third piece, a fourth piece, a fifth piece, right? So they will all be rotated in random position. So I cannot assume, I cannot exclude, or cannot, offset the first piece. I cannot. I need that mat to work anyway, right? To work whatever is their rotation. To work whatever is their rotation. So what I'm thinking is, at the moment, to calculate the distance, I am rotating the vector. I'm rotating the vector based on that's why. Wait a second. I'm rotating only the second vector, eh? I'm rotating. So the first no way. So I'm rotating the resulting vector, right? So I'm rotating, no, but why I'm rotating this? I'm rotating the second vector only of that amount. I'm rotating the second vector only. I don't know. I cannot fully understand it, but at the moment I am so I think at the moment I'm not neutralizing the rotation of the first piece, which is a bit weird because I am of the second. So why Why I am why with this sequence I am neutralizing the rotation of the second piece but not of the first, considering that I subtract clockwise the rotation of one guy from the other guy. And then I rotate the vector to have the opposing faces. And then I rotate the vector around the resulting angle. And I take that as the so I take no, I have to do it differently or I will never understand it. Or I will never understand it. So there is my room 1, there is room 1, there is room 2, okay? I'm trying to match 1 with 1, okay? Okay. So the first thing that I do, and this can be, the pivot of this can be anywhere, right? It can be here, for example, right? So I'm getting the vector, I'm getting this vector and this vector. I'm calculating the rotation of this vector with this vector. I subtract them. And then I subtract them, right? And then I rotate it 180 degrees. So basically this minus this, right? After the first step, it will pretty much be this. And then when I rotate it 180, it will be this, right? So I know that the rotation of this thing needs to be in this direction to face this guy, right? And so I'm doing the minus clockwise, I'm doing the opposing faces, and then I am rotating this vector in space of this angle, which in our case will be, I mean, if this, right, in this case will be like 180 or whatever, right? If considering that, if that, so we will rotate it that much. And the resulting vector will be what? And the resulting vector, because I'm rotating the second vector. I think that's the issue, because I'm rotating. No, the height is not the problem. The problem is the rotation. The height is easy to fix, because we don't rotate on the roll. We only rotate on the jaw. So it's fairly simple at the end, rotation wise. We're not rotating in 3D completely. We're just rotating on the Z-axis. So now the only question is why I am rotating only this around the resulting angle. Ah, yes, I'm rotating this because this is the piece that I want to move. Okay, makes sense. So I'm rotating his vector so that he faces that point exactly. The problem is that this point, right, this point, if this thing is rotated, is not here. That's the problem, right? So this calculation is fine as long as this point is so basically as long as this vector is not rotated. So I think I need to, so before, yes, exactly. So before, so I need to take into account the original, I need to take into account the rotation here. So I need to rotate this vector of the, I need to rotate this vector of the angle of the actual object rotation. Yeah, I think so. I think so. It worked. No, it didn't. It didn't because they are actually overlapping. It didn't. It didn't. So if it's not rotated, it still works, right? So if it's not rotated, it still works because basically this rotation does nothing, right? Because this rotation does nothing. He went closer though. I mean, he went kind of closer. He went kind of close. What if I do... What if I rotate the two vectors based on the actual rotation of the object, right? So I basically get my real vector. And then, because if I do it like this, I think it will be... One second. Get actor location, one minus the other. One minus the other. The distance between the two entrances. No, I think the idea is probably good, but I'm not. So if I rotate for the actual, no. If I rotate my relative location to the world rotation, right, like this, so I'm basically realigning my vector to the proper thing, right, and then the problem is only that these two now I need to do what I wanted to do originally. So it's the minus 180, right? Because the minus 180, because if I just if I just say one minus the other now, if I just say one minus the other plus the distance between the two, I think now we are in the same situation of really? Because I don't have the 180. I don't have the 180, and so basically, well, I don't have the 180. Yeah, but how the hell do I do the 180? How the hell do I do the 180? Because in this case, you know, I was rotating I can do the 180 here. I can do the 180 here. Maybe. Yeah, in theory, yes. In theory, yes. Fuck. Why? At the moment we are not rotated, right? At the moment we are not rotated. At the moment we are not rotated. Yeah, with zero rotation, it works. But with zero rotation it works. Bro, can I have a light? Bro, can I have a light here? Because I'm starting to be annoyed that I don't see shit. Can I have a light, please? Thank you. Yeah, but a decent light, huh? What is this light? Okay, I think this will be enough. I think this will be enough. Yeah, to see the entrance. Otherwise, we always bump on the entrance. So if there is no rotation, so now this is worse than before, right? Because now we fuck up also if the second guy is rotated, because you see that we have, So that's 10 degrees. If I go 20, it will be more. If I go 30, it will be more, and so on, right? I assume, yeah, exactly. Because, so this is not the right way. This is not the right way. This is not the right way. Why is not the right way? Why is not the right way? Because I really need to do it in world location. I really have to do it in world location instead of relative location. I mean, I can... The problem is that in world location will never work because I cannot rotate a vector in world location. That would be an impossible rotation. Will be a super long, you know, will be a 20 kilometers vector. So I have to rotate it locally, taking into account my actor world rotation, like I'm doing here, and like now I'm doing here. I can decide that I want the minus 180. By the way, let me just check the difference with 180 and without 180. So this is without, this is with, and this is without. So in theory, it should be a whole room of difference. It's not a whole room of difference. I like half the room of difference. But yeah, I think it's half the room because my original vector is about half the room. So yes. So I think that this is correct. I think that this is correct. So I think I can rotate. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, I can rotate my second vector by 180. But what I'm not taking care of is the additional space that is between the second piece not rotated and the second piece rotated. That is the part that I'm not taking care of, right, with this calculation. I'm not. But I don't understand why then the first rotation is taken care of. Why? Why I can rotate the first guy as much as I want and it always works, but I cannot rotate the second piece and it doesn't work in the second. So why? Should I do... Wait. If I take the difference between the world location but I cannot, because I cannot... I cannot compare... This is a mess. Let me think about it. So I rotate my... So this thing is rotated, right? and I rotate my vector. So the same vector becomes something like this, right? And obviously I have a distance between this and this. But the fact that I already rotated it, because I mean I can consider this and add this distance, but and the question is, okay, so now in theory, if I rotate also the first, so if I rotate also the first one, they will be more distant from each other, right? So in that case, it's that much. If I rotate less, it's that much. Okay. Yeah. So you see that we miss the distance. Exactly. We miss the distance of the rotation. But it's pretty stupid, because if I say this minus this, then it would be the same as doing just this without the rotation, right? Huh? Sorry, let me try just something stupid. Let me just try something stupid. No, obviously not. So the actual calculation of the rotation is okay, but then we are missing some distance, right? We are missing some distance, which is the distance between the red line and the yellow line. Now I can calculate this distance, because anyway but I think if I do one minus the other, I don't know, I think that I can try, but I don't understand what I'm doing if I do one minus the other. Because if I do one minus the other, what the hell do I get? I get... Sorry, wait a sec. So if I do one vector minus the other, right? Yeah, I get that. I get exactly that. Yeah, I get that. Now, for a second I was thinking I was not getting that, but yes, I'm getting that. So I have that distance. Right? It is the distance that I'm missing, but that distance should be subtracted from this distance, because I have the same problem on the other side, right? So I have this minus this, and then these two I think I can sum up. And this is basically the sum of the two distances that I am missing with the rotation. But now what? This vector will be super stupid. I can try to add it to this one, but I don't know exactly what is the result of that. I think it may go very far away. Nah. Are we okay in a 0-0 situation or not even? No, that is not the solution. That is not the solution. If I do one minus the other, nah, it's not gonna work. I think the theory is wrong. GG. Bye. No. It's not working, boys. Bye. It's not working at all. It's not working at all. I finished all the possible combination of trying randomly. I finished all the possible combination of trying randomly. Because I think that was the problem, right? So the missed space. So now, can we... Sorry, can I do something different? Can I have the sides of this? And can I add... oh my god. And can I have the sides of... this? And then the sides, I'm gonna add it. Can I do this? Can I add a flow to a vector assuming that it goes in the same direction or no? I think yes, huh? So in this case, I mean, okay, no, it's not doing what I want. So the point was that how can I make the vector longer on the same direction? Yeah, but it's probably not gonna work anyway. How do I make one vector longer on the same direction? It's like extending it, right? How do I extend the vector in the same direction, boys? By a certain amount of units. Get unit direction. Ah, okay. So if I get the... If I get the unidirection vector... Huh? No, I mean... No, I want... Huh? What? I multiply it? Yeah, it's like a multiplication, right? By... If I multiply a vector, it goes into the same direction, no? Obviously, yes. If I multiply a vector... fuck. But anyway, I think it goes in the same direction. Yeah, A to A. Yeah, it goes in the same direction. So in my case, it's like if I have to multiply, but I have to multiply of... Because if I say multiply... can I just multiply by this then? Probably yes. So I multiply by this. And it goes in the same direction of my original vector. Yeah, the problem is that this can be... No, but length is not... But no, it's not correct. This will be a million units. In fact, it doesn't even appear. No, multiply doesn't work. Come on, how do you add... How do you add... So if I say plus... If I say plus 1 is unfortunately adding 1... Well, if it's adding 1 to all directions, yes, it's actually extending it in that direction. But then why it doesn't work then? No, I don't understand. Then it should be plus, right? If I say plus... I get my length, right? And I said, yeah, no, the plus was okay. The plus was okay, but it's not working the way I want. Because if I say plus this, if I say plus that, what happens? It's going up. No, it's impossible. The vector needs to stay in the same direction. It's impossible that it goes up. This plus is not a good plus. Huh? Because if I do add, I mean, if I add the original vector, which is this one, obviously this is bad. Because this will result into, yeah, this will never work. Because the result should be like this, but including the rotation distance, right? That's the problem. That's the problem that we have. So at the moment we are in the situation that without rotation they are correct, but as soon as I rotate one guy, they start to be or overlapping or distance from each other based on the type of rotation. You see, now is distant, and because the distance that we are missing is due to the rotation of this piece. So the connector that is not exactly in the right spot. So, but I don't understand why I kind of neutralized that effect here, right? When I did one minus the other, and then I was doing the vector rotation. And then I was using this without this, right? I was using this, right? I think I was using this. I think I was using... Oh, fuck. Angle. Clockwise, opposing face, rotate. And I was rotating the relative location of the second piece, yes. And then I was calculating the distance between the two entrances in terms of word location. And then I was adding it to no, which is basically this, right? Adding the distance of the two rooms, and then here having the distance between the two entrances. But the distance between the two entrances was what? Was the relative location versus the calculated one? Yes. Okay, so this was the old way. That was working for any position, right? Any position and any rotation of the second piece. But as soon as I rotate this, we get a distance, we get the rotation right, but we get the wrong distance. And what I cannot understand is why the rotation of the second piece is actually taken into account properly, while the rotation of the first piece is not. Let me do this because I don't want to go too crazy in the changes, because then I will not be able to undo what I did, right? So let me duplicate the function. So this is the clean function that is working only for the rotation of one piece, and I will save it, right? I would save it as, this is find rotation and translation. Let's call it find rotation and translation 1 or whatever, right? Then I will just duplicate the function, and I will play with it, because if I cannot go back to a working version, I mean, it's just taking me time to go back, right? So I will now use the number 2. Well, I can do the opposite anyway. This becomes 2 and it's the same. Let's say that this is the okay partial, right? Partial okay. And we can play with this one now. So we always have the copy, right? We always have the copy, and we can go back to that one in case we make a mess. Hello, Giron. Maybe it's taking the initial position instead of relational of the relative position. Yeah, that is the problem, right? I think that the delta, right, that we get is because when you rotate this piece, the entrance is moving, because the pivot is not in the center or whatever. The pivot is not on the entrance, let's say. If the pivot was on the entrance, then there was no problem. But obviously the pivot is not in the end. So when I rotate, it's not just a matter of rotation, but it's also that this entrance now is more distant, right? It's more distant from where it was. And that distance fuck up the calculation. What I really cannot understand is then why the rotation of this doesn't make a difference. I can rotate this guy as much as I want, and in our current code, it always works. You see? Piece number 2 can be rotated as much as we want, and it is perfect. But piece number 1 cannot. Right? Piece number 1 cannot be rotated. As soon as I rotate it a bit, I get more distance like there, and the more I rotate, the more that distance will become, right? As you can see. The rotation is right because they are actually facing each other perfectly, but this thing is right. So at the wow, that picture. So basically now the distance between this point and this point, you know, is that long. And if I rotate it less, this becomes shorter, 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 shorter. And when it's not rotated, is matching perfectly that. When the first piece is not rotated, is matching perfectly that place, right? And I don't understand how I am taking into account the rotation. I'm properly taking into account the rotation of the second piece and not of the first piece, considering that I just do this minus this, right? I mean, this is all relative, right? This is all... Yeah, exactly. This is the relative rotation. So I'm using the relative rotation in both cases, right? And I am not adding... And I am not adding... I mean, I tried already. We can try again. I tried to remove from this rotation the rotation of the piece. So I may try to remove... I think I did it on the second. I cannot do it on the first. So if I get my actual rotation and I remove it from this... Okay, let's try a second. And then I use this as an input to this to understand the rotation. I don't know. Is a multi-dimensional problem. Uh-oh, in this case we also have the rotation wrong? Why? Huh? I didn't touch the rotation. Ah, no, wait. We need to use it only for this guy, eh? So I need to use it only for this guy. So actually this thing needs to go after the 180. After the 180... we do this minus this, and then we have this plus this 180, and then this goes into this, right? Okay. So now we are basically taking into account a bit the rotation of the first piece, but you see, is very wrong. And you may say, oh, it's wrong because you do it only on one side and you don't do it on the other side. Okay. But the second is not rotated at the moment, wait. Ah, no, this one is rotated. Okay, wait, let me unrotate this a second. So if I do this, it goes there. If I rotate it, seems to me it goes in the same position, but it's just that this guy is rotated. But so you may say, oh yes, but now you consider the angle of the first one, you don't consider the angle of the second one, and that is why I say, okay, so we do this angle minus this angle, so in the same way. So this is the actual rotation, that is the relative, and then we sum up these two, and then the sum of the two we put it in the calculation, right? So we do the 180 plus this, right? So this will take, yeah, but it's wrong anyway. It's wrong anyway. That is with rotation. That is without rotation. Super wrong anyway. This is without rotation on both pieces. Yeah, without rotation on both pieces always works, right? But now we have the problem that also with the rotation of the second guy, we get it wrong. So this is not the right math, boys. This is not the right math. But I am really surprised, right, that I am really surprised. There is only the rotation of the first piece that, for whatever reason, is affecting my calculation, and the rotation of the second guy doesn't make any difference. That I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Let me just check something. So if I'm rotated 10, if I'm rotated minus 10, right? I rotate minus 10, I go inside that much. I rotate plus 10, I go inside. It seems that I go inside exactly the same amount, by the way. 1, 2, 1, 2. One, two, 1, 2. Yeah. I go in the exact. So minus 10 and plus 10 seems to make no difference in terms of the distance between. How it is possible that. No, wait. It is the first piece, huh? Yeah. Sorry, I fucked up. This is the first piece, this is the second piece. So if you want to look at it from the second piece point of view, no, but this can never be plus. Why I have a plus here? Because I'm smoking weed. Why I have? I mean, this should always be one minus the other, eh? Because we want to see the difference between the two. So that can never be plus, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, so as soon as I rotate this guy, we will see a difference, right? Yeah, exactly. Now it's going way more in. But now it's going way more in. So with this calculus, so if I add this angle, I'm getting fucked. Okay. So I don't want to add that angle. So let's say that I want to add then this angle. I don't know why, but let me say that I want to add this angle. But I think that I have a bigger issue here. So it's not this. This reasoning that I'm doing is actually, unfortunately, I think is wrong. I think unfortunately it is wrong. Because it seems it's not. Because it's like if it's coming back, you know, because I think I can do that much with angles in this calculation. Fuck. Arr. 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 So here I have a distance which is proportional to the rotation of the first piece, and is completely irrelevant the rotation of the second piece. right, is exactly the same location, you see? So for some magic, for some mathematical magic, right, this actually works irrespective of the rotation of the second guy. This is what is making me so mad. Why? How it is possible? I mean, I would like that to be wrong, you know, completely wrong. Also, if I rotate the first guy, the second guy, is it because the second guy is a square, and so the distance between? But I don't think it's centered because I think I did it. Let me see. Did I center this guy? I mean, we can see it from the top. Maybe because it's centered. No, you see, I did it by purpose. The pivot of this piece is not in the middle, and I did it by purpose, right? Because I will never have the pivot in the middle. So despite the fact that the pivot of this is not in the middle, and so the distance between the pivot and my connection point is kind of a random vector, depending on the... Well, I always take the relative rotation, so actually... Yeah, because I take the relative rotation right here. So I can rotate that guy as much as I want. Ah, yes. Now I understand why. Ah, yes. Yeah, because I always take the relative rotation, right? So I always take the relative rotation of piece 2, and then anyway I change his rotation. So his rotation becomes irrelevant, while the first piece I take the relative rotation, but then I don't rotate it back, and so that rotation is affecting me, right? I think that's it, right? Yes, I mean, it is this for sure. So okay, I think I understand that now. So this is obviously useless because this will never affect anything, right? What is affecting? So this rotation will never affect anything because anyway I'm going to reset it, right? But what is affecting is this rotation. So the rotation of the first piece, because that is changing in 3D space the distance between right. So this is why I was saying hey, why we don't rotate this as well to find the real distance you have to travel. Exactly, right? So this is the reasoning I did like half an hour ago, right? So the reasoning was why I don't rotate this, why I don't rotate my relative location of my thingy by the actual rotation of my first object in 3D space on the Z, so that I see how much is the difference, right? And then what I do, and then I say, oh, this vector is moved by, so if I do that rotation, I'm moving my connection point of that much, right? So the distance between this and the, exactly, but I did it already. The distance between this and this is the piece that I'm missing. So that is the distance due to the rotation of the first room, right? The additional distance, say. The additional distance due to the rotation of the first room. So should I just add it on top of this? Please. Nah. Nah. But logically, okay, so this is 10%. If I do 20%, how much is the overlap the same or is the overlap more? In theory, overlap should be a bit more, no? Because I'm adding the distance, right? Yeah, it should be more, right? Maybe not by much, but yeah, it's more, right? It's more and more and more, right? The problem is that if this guy rotates like completely in the opposite direction, then what the fuck happened? And you see that the room is actually in the right spot, right? I mean, the right rotation, I mean. Is in the rotation is always correct. But it's the distance that is fucked up. So like in this case, we rotated 180 degrees. And so the distance of that vector is a lot. Should I remove it instead of adding it? I don't know. I feel I'm close, but I don't understand. I feel I am close, but I don't understand what I have to do. What? You crazy? Huh? Is it the offset of the rotation that breaks everything? Is the rotation of the first piece that breaks everything? Is the only parameter that breaks stuff. Otherwise, everything works. If I do it like this, which is the current good way, right? Which is the current good way, and my first piece is not, and my first piece is not rotated, right? My first piece is not rotated, like I said already a few times. The second piece can be any position, any rotation, and it always works, right? You see? It always works, whatever it is. What is fucking me up is the rotation of the first piece. And I don't think it's the position. I think the position of the first piece also I can put it anywhere I want. Let me see. Yes. So the position of the first piece is not a problem. It's the rotation of the first piece that is fucking me up. It's the rotation of the first piece. Is the rotation of the first piece. If the first piece is rotated, you know, 10 degrees to the right, 10 degrees to the right, this thing will be inside by a bit. If it's rotated 10 degrees on the left, this thing will be away that much, right? We have seen it already, right? So like this is slightly inside, and if I rotate him on the left, it is slightly outside, you see? So that rotate, but I don't understand why if I do this. Then I'm saying, okay, let's rotate, right? Let's rotate my vector, which is the one that goes from the center of the object to the connection. Let's rotate it by that amount, the 10%, right? The 10 degrees, right? I rotate it on the y, on the z-axis, and I get another vector, right? And I get another vector. Then I do one vector minus the other, right? I do one vector minus the other, and I get the difference that is caused by that rotation, right? I get the difference that is caused by that rotation. And then what I tried to do, I said, okay, now add it to the previous, right? To the previous result. But it doesn't work. It's not enough. For whatever reason, it's not enough. I thought that this would solve it, but it doesn't solve it. I mean, it's helping a bit, right? Let me see if in this case I don't rotate the second piece. If I don't rotate the second piece, what happens? No, it's the same distance. It's the same distance. So it's really the rotation of the first piece, right? So with this calculation is that much. Without that additional calculation is that much. So you see that I go closer, right? With the addition, with that addition, I actually go closer by a bit, but not enough. Why not enough? Why? Wait, I think I had an illumination. I had an illumination. Yeah. I think I have it. Or anyway, I understand a piece more. So I don't get the full. Because the pivot of this guy is actually kind of here, which is about halfway, right? And my connector is here. But if I only compensate the rotation for half of the block, the distance will be half, right? I mean, I can multiply it by 2, which sounds a bit weird, but obviously it's not. But what I'm saying is that I think that at the moment, doing the rotation of this vector, right, like we did, so I rotate the vector and I get, I don't know, this, and then I'm doing, oh, my distance is from this to this. I'm actually not taking into account that my object is long as this, and so the actual rotation in war space is much more. So I should rotate the object, or not, because when it's rotating in that pivot, and so the distance is that distance. No, I'm saying, sorry, delete what I said. Delete it. Because Because in world space anyway, this guy is rotating around this, so the actual distance is that distance. Because this part may not exist, right? This part may not exist, and this guy is still rotating the same way. No, delete what I said. I was thrown off by the fact that it was about twice, you know, it was about twice the sides, so that kind of tricked me. But I mean, like, if I multiply this by 2, I know it's a bit stupid, but if I multiply this by 2, which obviously makes no sense, it will be roughly okay, right? But I think it will be roughly okay only for 10 degrees. No, wait. I don't know why when you multiply... Why when I multiply, it moves on the... Why when I multiply, it moves on the Z? Why when I multiply... This is strange. If I multiply this vector by 2, I think the multiplication of vector is not working the way it should. Why if I multiply? Why if I multiply, it moves up and down? That's so weird. Maybe this multiplication by float, it doesn't like it. But multiplying a vector is just, you know, going in the same direction. Because you multiply all the 3 components, x, y, and z, right? Ah, yes, because I'm multiplying... Yeah, because these guys are not the same height. And so they are not the same height. So I'm multiplying a... But no. I am from Italy. Hello, NJM. I'm from Italy. It matters if you plug the top pin from the bottom pin in mathematics. Agreed. Well, no, not for vector multiplication. No, not for multiplication. No. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't understand why this vector is... That is weird, huh? So I'm taking a vector, right, which is 2D, because is not 2D. Is not 2D. My vector is not 2D. My vector is slightly 3D because this thing is not sitting on 0, 0, 0. Right? This connection is not sitting on 0, 0, 0. So my vector goes from the pivot, it goes from the middle to here, which is not a 2D vector. It's not. It's not a 2D vector. is a 3D vector. So if I rotate it... That is a revelation, boys. I mean, I think it doesn't change anything, but I was always thinking that my vectors were 2D here. I mean, not moving on the Z, what I mean, right? Not moving on the Z. Yeah, if you have them switched another mat. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah. But in this case, it's the same. So this thing is moving on the Z. And if I rotate it on the Z, it's going to keep the Z the same, right? Which is fine. Which is exactly fine. But this is why when I multiply, I see him moving more on the Z, because actually he has a Z element in it. Which is okay. 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 So I could neutralize the Z, right? If I want to multiply by 2, I should actually neutralize the Z and multiply. But anyway, multiplying by 2 is a stupid idea. But yes, at least now we understand how this works, right? I mean, why we see it moving up or down, right? That's the reason. But at the same time, you know, but in reality, you know, if I just rotate on the Z, this should not have a Z component, right? Can we print it out 1 second? Can we print out... Can we print out this vector a second? Which is the relative location after the rotation of room number 1, right? It's not staying on screen. Duration 25. Forever. Yeah, you see the Z is 0. The Z is 0. Right? It is. The Z is 0. So... Bro. So if I multiply this by 2, right, it must be still 0. Do you agree? It will be double, but it will still be 0. Is minus 350? What the fuck? Huh? Huh? What? So I have a vector that has 0z, so it's flat on the 0z plane, and I multiply by 2, and it gets minus 350. Huh? Why? I don't understand. $150, 0, multiply by 2. 200, 100, 0. Huh? Maybe the multiply should not be used that way. Hello, video nomad. More than that, you multiply it by 1. I multiply by 1. What do you mean by 1? Ah, now I multiply by 1. Yeah. Yeah, multiply by 1. And this multiply between vector and float probably is not supposed to work this way. But then how do I multiply a vector in Unreal? I don't understand. How do I multiply a vector? I don't understand. Multiply the Unreal, multiply vector. Can I multiply a vector and a float? Yeah, exactly. It seems I can multiply a vector and a float. Multiply vector by float. Okay, you multiply it manually. Okay, I mean, fine. No, it is broken. Yeah, it's broken. Okay, it's broken. Whatever. It's broken. Okay, fine. It's broken. Fine. I don't know why. Okay, we can multiply each, you know. We can multiply. I mean, it's a bit stupid, but we can. I mean, it's a bit stupid, but we can. I mean, if you want to multiply by 2, we can multiply. No, right? We can multiply each by 2 and whatever. Yeah. I mean, fine. I mean, it's not. But anyway, this is not solving our problem. It's just I'm just running around because I don't know how to solve it at the moment. If he comes back again with a z value, I'm going to get mad, huh? Okay, it didn't. Okay. It did? Minus 700? Ah, wait. I'm multiplying this now. No, this I want to multiply. Did I multiply this before? I have to multiply this, not this. Did I multiply this? Huh? Sorry for the mess in the lines, huh? I think I multiplied the wrong one. Fuck. Okay, so the multiply actually works. No. Okay. Okay, fine. But anyway, it's not solving our problem. It's not solving our problem. So if I multiply this, sorry, let me remove all of this because it's becoming a bit messy. So if I multiply this by 2, right? Which is, I know is not the best idea. But if I multiply this by 2, this will be nearly correct. You told me? Before, now you print the note before the plus. Sorry, I was too focused on I didn't read much of the chat. Working away from the start, disconnect everything is not working. Once you hit the part broken, find the issue. That would be nice. Break down the vector so you exit the value. Yeah. No, it's actually working. I just connected the wrong one. But anyway, so the point was that I wanted just to multiply by 2 just to show that we are, I mean, with this rotation adjustment, we are off of about that much, right? I don't know about how much we are off, about, I don't know, 1.8 or whatever. Probably 1.5, I don't know. So it means that the compensation for the rotation of piece number 1 is, yeah, kind of, right? Not exactly, but kind of that, right? Yeah, slightly off, right? So it means that this compensation for the rotation of the first piece is not correct. If I rotate it 30%, the funny thing is that it remains very similar. Well, but he fucks up on this other axis, right? He fucks up on this other axis. Okay, so basically compensating for the rotation is probably what we have to do, but we are not doing it right, right? We are not doing it right. So just rotating the relative location by the word actor rotation on the Z is not generating a value that is actually meaningful. I guess it's the same if I do I don't know. If I get the word location of the, no, but the word location is always wrong because the piece can be anywhere. No, the word location is always wrong. Is always wrong. No, the word location is always wrong. But if it's not this, I don't know what to do. I mean, if it's not this, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the only thing I can do, I can compensate for the rotation and then add it on top, right? Add it on top of the current distance between the two rooms, right? But if that is not right, apart from this multiplication by 1, which is obviously stupid, but if I cannot do this, then what should I do? So this guy is in this position. And I have my connection point there. Okay? I rotate this guy 10 degrees in this direction, starting from his pivot point, which is whatever here, which is not in the middle of the object, but is the same. right? So my connection point moved a certain distance, right? You can see it from here better, right? From here to here. From here to here. So my connection moved a certain distance. This distance is this, because I take the relative location of that exit, I rotate it by the degrees that my actor is rotated on the Z, and I rotate it only on the Z, and then I take this minus this to understand the distance. And since these are two vectors, I'm getting this, right? I'm getting this distance. I'm getting this distance. Well, you may say, you are not getting that distance, you are getting a vector between the two. True, true. I'm getting a vector between the two. True, true. True. Ha, that's the fuck up, I think. That's the fuck up, because I cannot just add that vector, because actually well, I don't know though. I don't know. I mean, I think I can. Why not? Why cannot just add then this vector to all my calculation that works without the rotation? Right? Because this works perfectly without rotation of the first piece, right? It works. So why I cannot just add on top that distance, right? This distance. Why I cannot add on top this distance and see it right? Why? Why not? Why not? Why is 1.5 something off? Why? I mean, the rotation, I did it right. I don't know how, but I did it right. What I'm doing for the rotation, because the rotation always works, it's always facing the other piece properly. So I'm removing what I'm doing. I'm doing okay. I do the calculation clockwise. I do the opposing faces. Then here I go here in the distance. But then here, what do I do? Here I remove the rotation of room 2. I remove the rotation of room 2 from what? From that. I remove the world rotation. I remove the world rotation. So that I basically put it in a neutral position. And then I add on top the rotation of room 1. Yes. Yes. No, it's correct. So I basically unwind, right? I basically put back in a neutral state room 2 and room 1, and I calculate my angle. And that's the angle that I need, and the angle is correct. The problem is that this unwinding, I mean, this rollback doesn't happen for the distance, right? But the funny part is that it's not working for the relative, because we said that if I rotate the number 2 is the one that I'm going to rotate, and so basically I'm nullifying any additional distance that he has in the world because I'm rotating it. But this doesn't make a difference, right? So if let me just be sure 100%, but I think it is the case. So if I have this guy rotated 0, so let me do this guy 0, then it works, right? If this is 0, it works, right? If I have this guy rotated 180, it still works, right? Perfectly. It works perfectly. Or not. Does it work perfectly? Yes, it does work perfectly. So even if it's 180, I mean, the rotation of the second piece can be what the fuck, and it's working. You see? It works beautifully. Yeah, the rotation of piece 2 can really be anything, and it works, right? It's the rotation of piece 1 that doesn't. It's the rotation of piece 1 that doesn't. I mean, from the inside, you see that it's really fucked up. I mean, from the top, it's just as... Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it's a real fuck up, right? And if I add to this translation vector the rotation difference, is not enough. Not making no sense to me. Relative rotation will never change if you change the actual world rotation. No, but you need to remove the world rotate. No, I mean, yeah, this is what I'm saying, right? So this relative rotation will not change, but I have to remove the rotation of room 2 because actually in the world it is rotated. So you need to unwind it somehow, right? You need to unwind it. But since you are rotating back this, your rotation, the rotation of 2 doesn't really make a difference for the distance, right? Because you are anyway putting it with the right rotation. Doesn't make a difference. While the rotation of piece number 1 does make a difference because, at least I think, but because, you know, the distance between the non-rotated and rotated, right? The distance between this and this for our connector point, right? For this connector point is actually something, right? From there to there. But I am calculating it, right? I am calculating it, and I'm adding it on top of the translation vector from this guy to this guy. And nonetheless, it doesn't work. Now, while if it's not rotated, it works. Relative is fixed always, don't be affected by word transformation. I don't understand what you're saying. I don't touch the relative rotation. I change the word rotation. I mean, this function returns the rotation and the translation that then we apply to the actual object, right? So we set the actor rotation and we set the actor location. So rotation and location, right? So we take the current plus whatever we calculated, and then this plus, so the actual location plus whatever we calculated, right? So we are not touching any relative rotation. We use the relative rotation to understand how to rotate the final object. But the rotation works, is always facing, so this is correct, right? This part is correct. And in this part and this part and this part is correct, right? So all these angles are correct because the result of this is correct. So in every case, right? This rotation is always right. Even if my first object is rotated, rotation is always right. The problem is the distance. That's the problem. And the distance, right? And the distance, it seems that the calculation of that movement, so rotating that vector around the x-axis, is not giving us the right response. So this value is not the right response. This node is wrong. This node is not the right answer, right? This node, well, it's not the right answer when our first object is rotated. Like now it's rotated 10 degrees, and so it will be wrong. Not by much, but it will be wrong, right? So minus 90, 165. Minus 90, 165. Minus 90, 165. Minus 90, 165. So it seems to move like double. I mean, not exactly double, but nearly double. Nearly double in the y direction, right? I mean, you just rotate the actor to connection and add the offset to the socket. There is no socket. I mean socket. There is a point. Yeah, the socket is this. Yeah. You just rotate the connection and add the How much is the offset? So how do I calculate the offset? That's the question. How do I calculate the offset? The rotation is fine, but how do I calculate the offset? Right? How do I calculate the offset? My current calculation gives me a wrong result. $165. minus 90. Actually, it's not bad. I mean, it's not bad because it's actually going the right direction, right? So minus 90, is it? Yeah, it is, because minus 19 means up, you know, up 1 square, and plus 165 means this direction. What was it? You mean 0, 0? Huh? Zero, zero, zero. Ah, because I rotated it, right? Because I rotated it. So it was not rotated, and so it's 0 the result. Minus 90 minus 165, right? Minus 90 minus 165. So it's saying, yeah, go up pretty much one square. Go up 1 square and go right a bit more. I mean, 1 square and a half, right? But actually, as you can see, is 2.5 in this direction and is 1.5 in this direction. So it's 1.5, 2.5. So it's nearly double, right? It's nearly double. It's nearly double. Just relative location. The relative location, these objects are different, right? These are different objects. So you cannot just use the relative location. No? Can you? So what are you saying? So can you tell me, I mean, what do you have in mind? So to use just the... do relative plus relative? I mean, I can do relative plus relative, but what it will get me? I mean, these are my two pieces, right? So this is one connection and this is the other connection. If I do relative plus relative, I get this vector. I get this vector plus this vector. If I do this plus this, I will get... I mean, I will get this, right? So what do I do with that point? Nothing. Because then I need to... I need to rotate, I need to rotate the whole object, right? This is why I'm rotating this vector to find the angle that is giving me the facing position, right? And this is why I'm doing, I mean, I can, if you want, I can sum them up and see what happens. I have no problem. If you think that it may work, I can do it right now. So what you're saying is that the distance is, so this will just be this plus this. This plus this. And then I add the distance between the two rooms, right? Okay. Without rotating it, but I think this will never work. Because this will really depends on... yeah, apart from the fact that it's fucking up also vertically. Because now it's summing up two verticals you know, is rotating. I mean, it's summing up to Z. So I think this will is summing up to Z. I think this is not gonna work. Because you are just going up twice. I mean, I can neutralize the Z, right? But even if I neutralize the Z, I mean, this will now, I think, also be wrong based on the rotation. Let me see, No, the rotation doesn't affect it. The rotation seems is not affecting it, actually. Huh? You rotate the axle to face the connection, yes. Connection location plus relative location of point. Yes, that could be good. That could be good. That could be good. Connection of the location. So location of the yeah, that could be good actually. So location of the connection is this. No. Location of the connection is this. No, come on. This. Location of the connection of the first piece is this. Plus the relative of the connection. Yeah, I think that's good. That I think is good actually. Plus the relative of the second piece, right? Now, okay, let's try that. But this for you is the final location, right? Yeah, this is the final location. So I will not have to do my location plus, right? I will just set it as it is, right? I will just set it, right? Now, I don't know if this will take care of the... I mean, we have a Z misalignment, but we also have a... I mean, we pretty much have the same misalignment as before. If I unrotate this, say now the difference is that no, the idea is good, eh? The idea is good. Because you are saying, who cares if you rotated? Who cares if you rotated? Just take that... no, my friend. It makes a wall of difference if I rotated this or not. It makes a wall of difference. You cannot apply the same vector. I mean, you understand the difference? You cannot apply the same vector if this thing is going to be like this, or if this thing is going to be like this. right? Well, you may say, oh, but you know they will be like this. And so since you know, and the two vectors are and the two connections are touching, then the distance that you have is your point plus the other distance. Plus the other distance. Yeah. I think you are right. I think you are right, actually. Why it doesn't work? I think it's okay. Why? Okay, let me just check that I did it right, huh? Let me just check. Anyway, we have a copy of the other one, so we can do all the mess we want here. So we take connection 1 word position. Okay, connection 1 word position. And we sum it up with connection 1, okay, in the other room though, right? Relative location. Is this plus okay, or considering is 180? Considering is 180 degree rotated? I don't know. I do that plus... that plus I don't like too much. I do my word location. I mean, it's not plus, right? It's not plus because the object is rotated. I think it's the word location plus... Let me rotate this guy. Let me say the word location plus this, okay? Which is the actual vector rotated. But no, because this will become a minus, huh? So if I do this, it will become... it will go inside my room, I guess. Yeah, exactly. It will go inside my room, because now I am... No. Obviously, if I consider the rotation... No, I need to... I mean, the plus, right? The plus should be that distance... Nah, the plus... No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, it's kind of a good idea, but... It's a kind of a good idea. I like the idea. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. But if I take this guy, right? No, we closed it in GIMP. Fuck. I had it in GIMP. If I take this guy, I rotate it, and then my vector becomes, right? This vector, if I rotate this whole thing, becomes a vector like this, right? There is the vector that corresponds to this red one here at the bottom, right? Just after the rotation, right? So... I have to do minus. I have to do minus. I have to do minus? I don't know, maybe minus works. Maybe minus works! Not at all. Not at all. Minus this. Ah! Are we rotated now? No, we're not rotated. It works because we are not rotated, that's why. Ah! Wait a second. Fuck. Fuck. Arr. 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 It's not working. I don't know exactly why it's not working though, because the idea seems to be good to me, but you know why it's not working? Because the pivot of the second object is not in the middle, or no? Because the pivot of the second object. Assuming points are accurate, I mean, we are reading the position of the points, so we are reading the position of the points, so they are perfectly accurate. We are just getting the location of the point, so you know, we don't have any hard-coded value here. You mean if they are accurate in the middle of the entrance? Yes, they are. They are like in the middle? Yes, they are. I don't know. It seemed to me a good idea, but it doesn't. It doesn't work. Why doesn't work? Why doesn't work? Why? Uh-oh. Why? I mean, I rotate this, right? No. Fuck it. I rotate this, right? And I bring it to the right thing, which is minus 180. Minus 180. So I bring it here. And then I take, and then I want to put the position of this guy where his pivot is here at this word location, plus this. I mean, it must work. Nah. At this word location plus put connector. Why I'm using relatives? I'm using relative because I need to know the distance between the pivot and my point, no? If you use absolute, you will Move room 2, the distance the connector 2 is from 1. Move from 2, the distance. Yeah, that's another way. But why this way doesn't work? Okay. I mean, the connector 2 is from 1. I have it only before the rotation. I don't have it after the rotation. You understand? So I don't have this. I don't have this, right? I have this. So my room is originally whatever it is and rotated whatever it is, right? So, or I do it in 2 steps. So I actually move the room, then I read the connector location after the rotation, and then I move it, and then okay. But I don't want to do it in 2 steps. I don't want the room that looks like it's moving around, right? That would be a bit weird. I don't want to move. I mean, it is a possible solution, I understand, but I wanted to calculate it before, right? So to calculate where my room needs to go. Yeah, and I think that's the problem, because I also here, you know, we are getting the location before rotation. I mean, nothing is rotating. I mean, we are not rotating anything, right? Until the calculation ends. So if I get the world location of this guy, and I get this length, and I do this plus this, why the hell I cannot set? That's very strange that it's off though. It's probably due to the rotation then. That's possible. I don't understand why though. I don't understand why, because I think your idea is not bad. I think your idea is not bad. But it doesn't work. It does not work. Well, one of the reasons it does not work, and is very evident there, is the Z, right? Because here we are adding, right? We are adding 2 vectors, and both vectors have a Z value, because the connection is not at the bottom of the room, right? Is here, right? Is not sitting on the ground. I mean, that we can say Z0, right? We can say Z0 and fine. So we can neutralize this, which I guess is easy. But even considering Z0, you see that is not correct. Is slightly off to the right. Even if this would come down, it's still not correct, right? Not by much, but... And let me see if that distance, if that fucks up more and more as I rotate, or if it's always the same fuck up. Yeah, it seems that it fucks up more and more as I rotate. So it's basically the same issue. Let me neutralize the Z just for fun 1 second. Let me neutralize the Z. 1 second. Make vector. This z will be the z of this. Will be the z of what? Will be the z of this. The z of this, yeah. The z of this. Get word location. Get location. Yeah, it would be the z of this. So we neutralize the z, so at least it's not, you know, messing up visually. But still, this is wrong. The more I rotate, the more is wrong. You see? It's not matching at all. And if I rotate less, if I rotate very, very little, 10 degrees, right? If I rotate 10 degrees, then it's nearly okay. But it's still wrong. Why not absolute? What do you mean, Marcelum, by why not absolute? Put connector 2 on connector 1. Why you move the room? The distance the connector 2 is from 1. I don't understand what you're saying, Marcelum. I cannot. I tried. I mean, if you want, I try, but it will never work, right? So the distance between the two before rotation. I mean, if you want, I can try. So the word, let me try. The word, so the word location of connector 1 and the word location of connector 2, right? This is what you want. Word location of connector 1, word location of connector 2, okay? You want the difference between these two. Okay. And then you want to add this to the current position of room 2, right? So I have to change this back to what it was. So it would be like this, right? So we add to the current location the distance between the two connectors, right? Okay. Looks good. No, it doesn't. Incredible that whatever we do is we always get to the same result. I mean, I'm changing the code 20 times and we always get to the same result. We always get to the same result. So now I rotate it a bit more, right? And it will be fucked up exactly the same way it was in the other example. Exactly. Look, this is 30 degrees is identical to what it was with the other technique. Identical. Identical. Kind of strange, huh? It's kind of weird. Kind of weird. But yeah, but these are all good techniques, but none of them works. I don't know why. So we tried I know I cannot type that. We tried the following, right? We tried to... So my original technique was to rotate the relative vector to face the other connection, right? And then calculate the distance between the rotated one and my original and move it there, right? So we tried to do this, didn't work. We get a kind of an offset, right? Then we tried to do absolute of connector 1 plus relative of connector 2. It seems to be a pretty simple idea, but it didn't work. And then we tried now the absolute, just the absolute, right? Absolute distance. So basically the difference between the two absolute, between absolute connection 1 and absolute connector 2, and add this to the connector 1 position, right? So we try that as well, and it's not doing it. Do we always end up with the same error? Well, it looks like we are pretty much ending up always with the same error. Even if my technique was slightly different. Because in my technique, I was not getting this error that we are seeing now, right? With my technique, I was off, but I was off by very little, right? I was off by few centimeters, right? With this technique, we are off like half of the door, right? Or not. Let me try back my technique 1 second. I want to see. My technique is still here, so I think we can reuse it. We can somehow, I don't know. We can somehow rebuild it. We are not using this, I guess. We are using, yeah, because I didn't delete the original. The original is this core, right? So is this clockwise, opposing faces, rotate. After you rotate, you add it to the distance between the two entrances, and then this is your result. I don't know, I don't remember. Seems not. Wait, I can go back to the other graph and we can cheat and read it back. Now there was the distance between the two entrances plus, okay, yeah. There was so there was this one as well in between. Distance between the two entrances plus what? And add the current distance between the two rooms. Okay, yeah. So and this was actor location, eh? So it was like this. No, it's not like this. Well, I can copy paste it from the previous if you want. Well, let me try it with a 0 rotation. Yeah, with a 0 rotation it works. With a 0 rotation it always works. Fuck! It works fantastic. With a 0 rotation of room 1. But I cannot have 0 rotation of room 1. I cannot. I cannot, because room 1 will change. All the rooms will be rotated. I mean, I can go with a 0 rotation of room 2. So, I don't know. What I'm doing, what is not the same between this and this? This between two entities, relative location. Yes, that is okay. Then actor location goes there. Actor location goes there. Minus plus minus, wait. Minus plus minus. Minus plus minus. Yeah, it's the same, bro. What did I do wrong? Huh? Do I have some mess here now? No. Why doesn't it work anymore? Why doesn't it work anymore? I mean, it works like this. No, probably... No, it works like it was working without my adjustment, right? Yeah, it works like it was working without my adjustment, because my adjustment moved... Yeah, it is okay. Yeah, exactly. So this is the original one. Obviously, if you rotate, right? Let me move this guy away a bit. If you rotate this guy, we start to see the issue, right? Yes. But if and the issue is similar to the one that we have seen, even worse. But if I then compensate, like I was doing, right, with this technique, which I'm trying to calculate the rotation of the other room and then add it to this. Then we get close, but not right. Then we get close, but not right. You see? We get close but not right, and if I rotate like 30, I just want to see if I get the same result of the other two techniques. Probably the answer is yes. Yes, exactly. I think we get exactly the same answer for all the three techniques, guys. We get exactly the same result. So what is wrong? I mean, I cannot really say if we get the same for all the three with 100% certainty, but they look very similar. The end result of the three techniques looks very similar. I don't understand why it's failing, but one thing that we could do... You've been driving for 1.5 hours and seeing you struggle? I know. If you have a better solution, Marcel, just tell me. But I cannot solve it at the moment. If you have another solution, let me know. So... so the point is that I cannot move... I cannot rotate... I mean, we cannot rotate this room, right? Because this room, if you rotate this room, everything fucks up. But we can rotate this room the way we want, right? So what if we swap and we consider that this one is our starting point and this one is our end point, and I always make my end point to be 0 rotated at the beginning, right? I think that would be a fair assumption, no? When I'm building the stuff, I have this one that is rotated, whatever is rotated. And I have this one. The problem is that the algorithm at the moment is matching connector 1 with connector, I mean, it's matching this connector to this connector. I mean, if I just swap the rooms, if I swap the rooms, right, and I say that I want connection 1 on connection 1 from the other room. And this one, my problem, no, because I need my source, yeah, the one that I'm connecting to, that is rotated. The one that I'm connecting to is rotated. I don't know, guys. If you have a solution, let me know, but at the moment I cannot solve this. I mean, we solved it in every possible way, but not with the rotation of the first piece. And all the other techniques seems to fail, so I don't know what is the hell. I mean, why the hell? Why the hell? Because logically, to me, seems correct, right? All this technique seems to be fine. I mean, even my original one seems to be fine. So I don't understand why. I don't understand why it's failing. There is something that we miss, right? There is something that we miss that we did not consider. So when this guy is rotating, I mean, I can world rotate and I can local rotate. Does it make any difference? I don't think so. Local rotate, world rotate. Huh? Does it make any difference? I don't think so. They're still overlapping, man. I think there is something that we don't get. When this rotation happens, what makes me really mad is that I understand that when this rotation happens, that connection moves, right? I understand that. And this is why I applied this, which is giving me exactly the difference between before rotation and after rotation, right? It is, because is that vector is going from the pivot to the point. I mean, unless the box, wait a second, unless the box is not, no, but the location of the box, I mean, the box has a sides, right? The box has a sides. But we are not reading the size of the box, we are reading the position of the box. Right? And it's perfectly centered in the middle of the door. So we are reading the position of the box. So this point, you know, we are reading this point. Is this point off by a bit? I don't know. Minus 900, 600, 100. Is this guy... I've seen some roundings, but I don't think that those roundings, I mean, this one is like 599999000. I don't think that this is going to make any difference, really. And on the other room, this guy is minus 300, 0000001, but bro, I mean, it's like nothing. So and the fact that it works when it's not rotated, you know, is just confirming the fact that the only problem is the rotation. You see how it's overlapping? Anyway, you can reproduce this, guys, in a sample project, right? So you don't need... If you want to solve it, you don't need this project. I can even send you this project if you want, but you can just... I mean, the math at the end is very, very simple, right? It's only this, right? This is what I'm doing at the moment. I can paste it, so if any of you wants to try... this is what I'm doing. I can copy paste it into blueprint paste and send it to you. And connect doors. Okay. And outside of this, the only thing that I'm doing, I am just setting the result plus the current, right? So it's super simple. So if you want it, is this. That is the current blueprint that I'm using, right? And you can do it just with a box. I mean, you don't have to do it with a full, you know, level or room, right? But I really need to go now because it's late. It's pretty annoying that we didn't fix it. But I mean, we tried everything possible, so... Let me do one last try, because this Z difference is making me mad. Let me try to put this at 0, 0, 0. I mean at the ground, so that the vertical distance is not influencing anything during rotations or anything else, right? Let me try that. And if this is fixing it, oh my god. But anyway. Connection 2, connection 1. Because this is the only anomaly, right? So if you do it like this, all the vectors are just 2D vectors. So it should be way simpler, right? Okay, we are still rotated 10 degrees. Okay. What? That's a bit weird. What the fuck? Huh? That is kind of weird though. Maybe the sides is not the same. No, it's absolutely the same. Huh? Why? You see that there is something weird though? I mean, how do we get a difference in height now? We still get the same, we still get the same overlap anyway. So we are still getting the same overlap, but for some reason we are getting a difference in height. Did I save it? I mean, I saved it. Did I move it in a non-relative way or relative way? I don't know. No, it's impossible. This is 0. Minus 300, 300 is 0. What? It is so strange. Huh? What the fuck? Bro. What do you mean? Maybe these two levels are different, I don't know, but I don't think so. I mean, actually one is the copy of the other, just minus some things, so... Can I go on late so I finally see something? They are exactly identical. Oops. I don't know what is the door actually. Huh? Wait a second. What? Because they are not... wait a second. Huh? Yeah, the doors are not... I mean, the doors are identical, but they are not in a grid of 50. So this door is not in a grid of 50. So to make it match, you have to do something like this, right? Which, by the way, our code was doing. But yes, these two doors are not, these two rooms are not in a... I mean, the doors are not exactly centered in the middle, whatever, right? But it should not make any difference. It shouldn't make any difference, right? I mean, I can put, you know, I can put two of these doors, two of these rooms instead of, you know, the other one. It's perfectly fine. It's the same, right? I just go by tag because I search them by tag. So one should be called room 1 and the other should be called room 2. And in theory should work exactly the same, right? I just don't understand why now that I move the... connection one, connection one. He didn't find room 1 or room 2. Why? Ah, because okay. Yeah. I should only search it by tag, by the way. I'm searching by tag in class, but no. Wait. Can we use just get all actors by tag without this class? Because class is super stupid. It's just annoying. We don't have a lot of actors, so we can just do it just by tag. I was doing tag in class, but it's backfiring on me, so let's just do this. Me. Okay. Meep. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now we are not bound anymore to the class, which was anyway a stupid idea to begin with. So now we are no more bound to the class, and one is doing nothing. Okay, because I didn't connect it. GG. Okay, so now we are... yeah, we have the same problem. Also with the other room, which is like one the copy of the other, we have the same problem. Now, I have no idea why when I moved this thing to the bottom of the second room is making a difference in the algorithm of the other one that I really don't understand. But anyway, the vertical is easy to fix. The vertical is nothing, right? Vertical is not. But we have the same problem. Also using the same room, right? The same object. If it's straight like this, it actually works. Right? It works perfectly. As soon as we rotate, it becomes fucked up, right? Yeah. Exactly. Okay, guys, I have to go. Unfortunately, we didn't fix it, but if you want to try by yourself, it's a fairly, easy problem to reproduce. I don't know if it's an easy problem to fix, but anyway. At least we, at least we tried few things, and not very happy about it, but whatever. Whatever. These rooms, by the way, are exactly the same height. And they have exactly the same... So I'm kind of annoyed of the vertical. But the vertical, I don't know, maybe a glitch, like... temporarily 1 second, Unreal went crazy. And decided to... Actually not. It didn't go crazy. It's continuously doing the vertical offset. Right? It's doing the vertical offset with this other room. It's doing the vertical offset with the second room. Does the second room have a vertical offset in the default scene or in the static mesh? No, because you see location is 0. And it was working before. I mean, the difference is when I moved it. The difference is when I moved it down. Oops. Difference is when I moved it down. It started to get. Yeah. So if I don't move it down, I don't get the vertical offset, which is fairly weird. While before it was working, right? This is strange. This is strange, but the vertical we can. I think that is just a problem with this room. I don't know. I think it's weird. I don't know. Anyway, good night. Good night. We see you tomorrow, same time in the evening, 9:30 European time. If you want to click on follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, that would be very nice. Also, we have a Patreon site if you want, and our game is actually released, so you can download it. You can download it and play it right now for Windows, Linux, and Mac. Bye. Bye-bye.